Here we are continuing 8.5a. It's going to be part 2. This one's going to be a little shorter. All right, but I just wanted to break it up a little bit because I didn't want to make it too long. I know, seriously. All right, so in the previous lesson, well, part of the lesson, we learned that if C was positive, the factors had same signs. Well, if C is negative, the factors have opposite signs, meaning if the trinomial ends with minus a number, one will be positive, one factor will be positive, and one factor will be negative. Now, you can't just flip a coin and figure out, oh, I'll take a guess. Of course, there's math behind it. The sign of B, the coefficient in front of X, tells you which factor is positive or negative. All right, that if it's plus bx versus minus bx, that's what you're looking for. The factor with the greater absolute value, meaning which one's further from zero. If it's positive 8 versus negative 4, 8 has a greater absolute value. If it's 2 and negative 7 has a greater absolute value. But the factor with the greater absolute value will have the same sign as B. Okay, I think I'm to make 4 examples here. I'll do one, then I'll give you one to try. I'll do one, then I'll give you another one to try to make sure it kind of is clear. So this is the one I'm going to do. Factor this trinomial. And remember, factoring it means I'm going to have it broken down into 2 binomials. I know it's going, oh, I'm writing a magic pen. It's going away. It's going to be 2 binomials. I guess I'll write in green. It's going to be x here and x here. All right, that's how I know. That's what my answer is going to look like. I'll just leave it there. Now I'll move this. Since my C is negative, that tells me one of these will be plus and one of them will be minus. Okay. Now I still want 2 numbers that multiply together to give me negative 20, meaning what times what gives me negative 20, with one of them being positive and one of them being negative. So I have lots of options. But before I just start guessing and checking, I want to look here. See this? This is a plus and there's an invisible 1 here. That means they have to add to get positive 1. So what factors of negative 20 add to get negative 1? Since they're opposite signs, I can also think they have to be 1 apart. So I have a 5 and I have a 4. If I multiply them, I get 20 and they're 1 apart. But one of them has to be positive and one of them has to be negative. So I can revert back to my previous set of information. The sign of B, which is positive, tells me which one is the larger value. That also gets the positive. So it would be positive 5 times negative 4 gives me negative 20. But also if I add positive 5 and negative 4, that gives me 1. So my factored form will be x plus 5, x minus 4. This is going to be my solution, my factored form. All right, you give it a shot. I'll give you a hint. My hints are always so helpful. It will be x here. It will be x here. Because this is negative 18, one of these will be plus and one of them will be minus. Give you an extra little hint, okay? Give it a shot. Take your time. Hopefully, you got it, that it was x plus 3 and x minus 6, because 3 times negative 6 gives me negative 18, and positive 3 and negative 6 added together gives me that negative. All right, I'll do this one. My turn again. I want to find 2 factors of negative 15 that add to get to 2. So I'm going to put my hint down like every time. Well, I could make it 5. Well, pretty much 5 and 3 is pretty much going to do it, right? One of them has to be negative. But since this is plus b, I want the larger of the 2 to be positive. So that will be negative. So this would be x plus 5 x minus 3. That's the factored form. Your turn. Try this one out. Hopefully you get it. Good luck. And that's the lesson. That's factoring when we do not have an a. Notice the lead coefficient every time was nothing. There's an invisible 1 there. All right. Your work is posted. Good luck.